Hot takes, great debates, highlights, basketball.
Let's go down to my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, the Grind House. I believe it was HBCU night in Memphis. I'm super happy to see the FedEx Forum. It's doing a lot better in attendance, and I don't even know any numbers behind it, but I know for a fact it has to be doing better in attendance because I got a lot of friends that go to games, and I just see the Grind House. Trust and believe, that FedEx Forum used to be empty. And I can go back to the Pyramid days when it was for damn sure empty. You could buy a $5 ticket when the Memphis Grizzlies were in the Pyramid. You could buy $5 tickets and be 3 rows away from the players. I've done it before. I'm serious about that. Anywho, the Memphis Grizzlies are only 2.5 games up on the Pelicans as the night started for 8th in the Western Conference. They're struggling. They've lost 4 in a row. Coming into this one, they're taking on De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings. Let's get into the highlight real quick, then we'll come back with a little bit of commentary on the back end of this one. As you see, Fox and Ja. By the way, the Grizzlies without Jaren Jackson, they desperately need him back. As Dillon Brooks goes and gets a bucket, he had actually a career-high 32 points in this. When Jonas Valanciunas gets into it with Harry Giles, I like this. Speaking of Valanciunas, he had a career-high 25 rebounds. We're in the fourth quarter. Kings up 4. 55 seconds to go. Fox drills that too. He had 25 in the game. But nice little sequence here from the Grizzlies to get back into this one. Down the lane for the deuce. And off the inbound, Kings a young basketball team. They're going to turn this thing over. Melton, Miranda both slipping on the ground. Ja gets up and goes and one. Ja had 20 points, 11 assists. After some free throws from the Kings, the last chance for the Grizz, 104-101. Brooks gets a look off. And I know Brooks had 32. But me personally, he misses and the Grizzlies lose by 3. Me personally, I want Ja Morant taking that shot in that situation. I'd rather live with Ja Morant missing. I don't know if Dillon Brooks is going to be the shooting guard of the Grizzlies going forward, like long term, right? I know he just got the new deal. To me, he's a tradable asset at some point in the future if a trade is to be made, right? I don't know if he's the future of my team. I know Ja's the future of my team. I want Ja in Memphis forever. My thing is, give that ball to Ja. Like early on in Damian Lillard's career with Portland, he would once they lost LaMarcus Aldridge, he would take the big time shots. I like that. Miss those big time shots early. I'm fine with that. But speaking of Portland, Brandon Roy did it in his career. Take those big shots. I miss them. Who cares? If the Grizzlies make the playoffs, it's a great story, right? If they don't, so what? Life goes on. I want Ja. I want the star of my team getting used to being in those big game situations. I want Ja learning how to be the guy. What shots can he take end of games? Because it's a different stretch. In that last minute of games, guys are actually playing real defense, locking you up. I want my guy. I want the star of my team taking those shots. That's me personally. If we're going to lose, I'd rather lose with Ja taking that shot over Dillon Brooks, who I like, I don't love. I know he had the hot hand last night. And now if you're a Grizzlies fan out there, losing 5 games in a row, the Pelicans they won against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and get into that highlight while we're here. They're only 2 games up now on the Pelicans, which is this is going to come down to the wire. Let's go to New Orleans real quick. The Cleveland Cavaliers in town. By the way, they're 3-1 since firing their head coach John Beilein under Bickerstaff. They've been better. Taking on New Orleans, you saw Zion go get a bucket once. Now Zion going to get a bucket twice. Off the turnover, you're about to see Zion at the rim. Lonzo up top to Zion for the deuce. Pelicans up 21 early. Let's move on to the second half. Zion's going to miss. That's rare, by the way, that he misses. He gets his own rebound and scores. Zion had 24 points in this one. Drew Holiday had over 20. And the Pelicans were led by this guy, Brandon Ingram, who had 29 points. And they're going to blow past the Cleveland Cavaliers here. You see Zion one more again, getting the deuce. And like I said earlier, they're only 2 games back of the Memphis Grizzlies now for 8th in the West. I heard the conversation start. If the Pelicans are able to come back and make the playoffs, Zion should be rookie of the year. Stop it. If they do that, and I don't believe the NBA would do that, you only ruin the integrity of the game. To me, it only becomes another hype beast. Like, has Zion been more impactful in the games he's played than Ja has been for Memphis? Yes, Zion is a more impactful player to me right now than Ja Morant. That's not saying Zion's going to end up better than Ja Morant long term, because Zion's got to lose some weight to me. Ja, I know, is going to be a 10, 15-year guy in the league as a starting point guard. I don't know that with Zion yet, but I want to put this out in the atmosphere. Zion's a more impactful player on the court. When I'm watching basketball, and I ask you this question, when you're watching basketball, who do you keep your eyes on? That'll tell you everything you need to know. If you're a savvy basketball fan, who do you keep your eyes on when you're watching basketball? Do I watch Ja Morant? Absolutely. He's amazing. But my eyes never leave Zion when the Pelicans are playing. I don't care who they're playing against. The Lakers were playing the other day, maybe I put my eyes on LeBron. But other than that, anyone else in this league playing the Pelicans, I'm watching Zion. That's how captivating he is. So if you're telling me Zion's a more impactful player on the court, with the offense running through him when the Pelicans decide to do that, I'll give you that. And defensively, he's better than Ja right now. But we can't ignore the first 30, 40 games that Ja played this season. He was there for his team when his team needed him. Often, there are nights where Brandon Ingram's better, like just this game we just did. Brandon Ingram had 29. He led the Pelicans. He's the all-star on that team. We can't ignore that. Ja Morant's leading his Memphis team. Maybe Ja's not the top scorer every night in Memphis. Sometimes Dillon Brooks has. We just showed the highlight when Dillon Brooks had the high hand. Other nights, Valanciunas might lead him, right? There are other guys that can step up from Memphis and have it going. Brandon Clark could have it some nights. Jaren Jackson could have it some nights. But I think it's clear as day who's the leader in Memphis. Ja, in his rookie year, has become the leader of Memphis. I'm not so sure if Zion has become the leader of that Pelicans team as of yet. I would still give guys like Drew Holiday that type of credit. Even looking at their coaching staff, Alvin Gentry's a leader of men. When you talk about guys like Brandon Ingram, who hasn't had the most polarizing personality, like I don't know where he fits in that locker room. But to me, again, I just don't want to overlook the fact that Ja's had to lead that team at an early age, and Zion's just been able to be a rookie. Ja has not been able to just be a rookie. And it's not easy playing in Memphis. I'm from Memphis. The culture in Memphis is just different. Memphis is a blue chip town. It's grit and grind. Seriously, that's why they call it the grit and grind. That's the character of the city, right? So it's not easy doing what Ja has done. And take it from me, Mike Conley never had the connection with the city that Ja has been able to get in 4 months being in Memphis. That means something. Mike Conley never fit the DNA of Memphis like Zebo, like Tony Allen. I'll even go as far as to say Marc Gasol, right? He never had that in him. Ja has been able, out of Murray State, to get that in 3 or 4 months in Memphis. And for that alone, he's still the rookie of the year. Now, in regards to the playoff picture, my guess is Memphis is going to slump out and not make the playoffs. That's my guess. I don't believe Memphis is making the playoffs. I honest to God, true, Portland would be the HC right now if Dame wasn't hurt. But injuries are part of the game. I expect Portland to get that 8th spot. But we're really to me, this all comes down to Dame's groin injury. If Dame's groin injury keeps him out a couple more weeks, the Pelicans have the opportunity right now to steal that 8th spot. They got it. It opened up when Dame's groin injury happened, ironically in Memphis, right before All-Star Weekend. That's the spot for Portland, for the Pelicans to take that 8th spot. I expected Memphis to slump even if they were healthy, and they're not healthy right now. Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark injured. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it as a fan of the game. Ja's still the rookie of the year, but if you're saying Zion's more impactful, I get that. I'll roll with that. You into sports, we got you. NFL news, I got you. NBA news, NBA highlights, NBA full coverage, feature stories, all that great stuff, I got you. We even got a little bit of Madden and 2K mixed in. Subscribe to this platform, and I got you. More quality content on the way. Subscribe.